day, and this is the continuation of the chapter 4. We are in the second topic, which is rotation or rotating vessel. So chapter 4, rotation. When the liquid mass is rotated about a vertical axis at a constant triangular speed or angular speed of omega in radians per second. So, for example, this is the vessel, no? Rotating vessel maning. So, the vertical axis at a constant angular speed of, so again, ang angular speed is the omega, and it is in radian per second. Every particle experiences a normal acceleration of a sub n, which is equal to v squared over x, or equals to omega squared x, where x is the particle distance from the axis of rotation. The acceleration causes an inertia force, which is called centrifugal force or reverse normal effective force, which is equal to ma sub n, or weight over g omega x squared s squared omega squared x. So, ang metabo a sub n equals to v squared over x omega x squared over x omega squared x squared over x. Cancel, therefore ang nabilin omega squared x. So, kung ato daning i-rotate, no, mo-form daw siya og gitawag na Paraboloid of Revolution. So this one again is called Paraboloid of Revolution. So the height, ang x nato is kung for example nagkwanta dari og isa ka particle. So x ni from here is y. Dari ang point sa tangency, no? Considering na kaning point of tangency, so ito na siyang i-zoom in ha, or blow up. May tabo ang ani. This is the point of tangency or the point of action or force. Again, there is normal force N, na weight, and there is centrifugal force CF. So, ang distance of weight is x, and from point to CF, no, is y. So, kani is theta, therefore, kani pod is theta. So, doing the first polygon or having the first polygon, so weight and CF her normal force tatadari. So therefore, diba ang CF is W over G times omega squared X. So from this no illustration, so tangent theta equals to CF over weight, and ang value sa CF atong i-input W over G omega squared over times X over W. Cancel among W. So our tangent theta is omega squared X over G. So this is the first equation form. Ang second equation is angle dy over dx. So tangent theta equals to dy over dx. Muna ang second equation. So equating the two equations, so dy over dx equals to omega squared x over g. So our dy is omega squared x over g dx. So we can integrate both sides, no? Therefore y equals to, since omega squared over g is constant, so to siya pagawas. Therefore our integral of x dx is x squared, no? X to the power 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1, so 2. Or simply, atong y is omega squared x squared over 2g. So this is the formula that we have extracted, no, from the illustration that we have assumed. So for cylindrical container, of radius r revolve about its vertical axis, the height of a paraboloid is x, no, for cylindrical container. So x equals to r sub 1, y is equal to h. So therefore our h equals to omega squared r squared over 2g, wherein omega is the angular speed in radians per second. And note that 1 rpm equals to pi over 30 rad per second. Now 1 revolution per meter, revolution per minute, equals to pi over 30 rad per second. The relationship between any two or more 3 points in the parabola can be given by, so if discussed about the relationship between many points, no, we can use the squared property of parabola. So using the squared property of parabola, so kanino This is the curve. So this point is x, y. And this one is x sub 2. X sub 2. And if that in a, so x sub 1 and y sub 1. So, gikan na ni na illustration, we can have the squared property of parabola wherein x squared equals to y squared equals to x sub 1 squared over y sub 1 squared, wherein equals also to x sub 2 squared over y sub 2 squared. And always remember that this is applicable in imaginary vortex below of Bissell, no? Sa imaginary lang ni. Volume of Paraboloid of Revolution. So, if this is the Bissell, no, volume of Paraboloid of Revolution, so, ano, so, for example, this is the vessel or container. Ang putang nato baso na yung gikutaw. So, there is reduced na form. And kanimo to ang visible, no? Nakita ninyo na ning form, hollow. And kani, for example, kape, muni na form. And the height of the katong glass. For example, lang tong glass. And the volume here is that equals to pi r squared h over 2. No? Ang volume ani is 1. Kaning hollow. Na ma-form na to from doing ka ng kutawon o kurawon na to ang kape. For example, kape niya siya. Pero sa dinagkuay na mga tank yata, so machine na magbuhat. So liquid surface condition. For open cylindrical containers, more than half of liquid rotated about its vertical axis. So if h is greater than h over 2, no, ang pasagutan ni gamay na h is the height sa liquid sulod sa container wherein ay capital H na height. So open is siya. So open, if greater than, for example, dari ato ang h, kanitong h, capital h over 2. If ninglapas siya dari, no? This is a small h. So mga condition niya, first is no liquid spilled, wherein ang kaning y over 2 is less than sa d. Unsa sa d? So for example, this one. And this is the kanino, this is the small h, and there is si d. Si y2 or si y is siya ang height ni paraboloid, no? So for example, this one. So just like din na gikuro do nimo, gikuto ang isa ka kuwan or the machine itself, ang kani siya ning form og y height sa katong paraboloid. And exactly y over 2 dari, y over 2 po dari kani. Kan center ani is mo pa ibabaw sa h na gamay. And always remember, this is subjected to angular speed. So this one is muna yung condition niya. Wala, less than lang ang y over 2 sa d. What if our y2 is equals sa d? So this is a paraboloid, no? So ni-touch mo siya sa rim. So therefore, y over 2 dari, because this is y. So y over 2 equals to d. No? This one is no spilled or no liquid spilled. And this one is liquid surface just touching the top rim, no? It is also no liquid spilled. What if si y over 2 is ning nasobra na dyan siya sa d, no? Or ning nanay spill. So this one is
sa orasan na, ma'am.
so ning spill na. This is just a assumption na ning spill sa diesel. D, H, and is Y. So Y over 2 is lapas na siya sa Y over 2 is greater than D. So some spilled or some liquid spilled. No? Some liquid spilled. What if Y is equal to D or capital H? Y equals to H. So simply, H and ano siya, mga subjected for rotation. So dari po, so mali ang Y, no? So Y equals to H. So vortex at the bottom, so ang tawag ani pinaka N sa vortex or paraboloid. So vortex mo na taong na form, no, from doing the revolution. So this one is the vortex and nin-touch siya sa bottom sa vessel. So there is also some liquid spill. What if ang Y is greater than H? So, amitabo, there is, so let's assume na exaggerated na ang Y. So, nice spelling, and also ang bottom sa vessel is a sum or kung siya exaggerated, no, na drawing. So ning lapas na, no. This is the Y and this is the capital H or the height of the cylinder or the vessel. So vortex imaginary below the bottom, so there is also or there is some liquid spilled. So upon encountering the problem, so you will know deeply how to use the formulas indicated or mentioned. So the next, no, is the problem. Hello, so this is the example for the rotating vessel. So this is the only example of the topic, no, but it is a long solution. So the problem stated that an open cylindrical vessel which is 2 meters in diameter and 4 meters high contains water to a depth of 3 meters. It is rotated about its own vertical axis with a constant angular speed, omega, no? So the first requirement or the required to solve for us, if omega equals to 3 rad per second, is there any liquid spilled? Second, what maximum value of omega in RPM can be imposed without spilling any liquid? If omega equals to 8 rad per second, how much water is spilled out and to what depth will the water stand when brought to rest? D, what angular speed omega in RPM will just zero the depth of water at the center of the vessel? E, if omega equals to 100 RPM, how much area at the bottom is uncovered? So let's start sa A. So as you can notice no and have heard and seen, so 3 rad per second is given. And to be able to draw sa ato ang illustration, we first find the y. Di ba the y is the height of the paraboloid? So y is omega squared x squared 2g, and the omega is 3 no squared, and our x is, we say x, so radius of the container or the vessel. So 2 meters man ang diameter, therefore our radius or x is 1 squared over 2g, so 9.81. So therefore our y is 0.46 meters. So y over 2 is katong liquid surface to the top of the paraboloid. So katong sa y, therefore 0.46 over 2 is 0.23 meter. So now we can able to do the illustration. So first the container. So ang h is 4 meters. And this is the center sa revolution, no? So omega is 3 rad per second. And the depth is 3 meters. So small h 3 meters. So dari ang and D, capital D is 1 meter. So therefore our if ana lang so the paraboloid is gani. So this is y, and from the line of sa deep bottom to sa surface, so y over 2 put underneath, and again this is ang x is 1 meter because radius man ang x or distance sa axis
nag-order na ko
kilid side sa container. And as you can see and observe no, y over 2 therefore is, which is 0.23, is less than sa D na 1 meter.
4,000 and 25.
So as you can see, basta y over 2 is less than sa D, so no spill.
5,000.
No spill, this one.
At katong sa ito lang tamo.
So therefore,
bigas ang kuan.
no liquid
Dito sa
spilled ang answer.
4,500.
Is there any liquid spill? Okay. Sub B,
Oh, 4,500. Then
maximum value of omega can be imposed without spilling any liquid.
2,000.
So angular speed ang ipangita.
Oh. 2,000.
And therefore, given na
kulang, tanalay mo kuan.
we know the illustration.
Amo na, pila na tanan. Oh, amo na, tingnan na. Ipadala na.
So omega is unknown, x is 1.
Oo. Sige.
And d
Nagamit yung mong ano, notes.
per meters.
Dahil mahaluan na. Ay, sapuyan ako. Sapuy na lang. Sapuy na lang.
So the deep is 3 meters, d is 1 meter. And the only thing is that maximum, nagkantag mo siya for the maximum value of omega. So therefore, when it is maximum, so we expected na ang katong rim and paraboloid, kani, the vortex, or ang volume, no? Paraboloid of Revolution is at the top rim. Siya sa top. So, kanina one is y over 2 equals to d. Diba? This is y over 2, y over 2, y over 2, and y. If this statement condition is money, so therefore our d is 1, so y over 2 is 1. And y equals to, so cross multiply, so 1 times 2, therefore y is 2 meters. So y equals to omega squared x squared over 2g. So 2 meters ng y, omega is unknown, x squared, x is 1 squared, 2 times 9.21. So cross multiply, therefore we have omega squared 2 meters times 2 times 9.21 over 1 squared. So square root both sides. Therefore our omega is 6.26 rad per second. No? So ngano na come up na to ang units. Diba 2 meters, and that is kaning 1 is 1 meter, so meter per square second man. So nahitabo per second na lang and walay upper nor or numerator na unit. So if that's the case, so butang ta grad, no? So dari lang sulod sa square root is 1 over s squared. So, ipagawa sa to ang s, so ma-s na siya. So, that's why ang ano. And we put the rad. So, to convert to RPM, so just times 30 over pi. So, therefore, our omega is 59.78 RPM. So, this is the answer for B. And C, so sa C, we are direct instructed na ang omega is 8 rad per second. So, ang volume sa water na, or spilled volume, and also ang deep sa water, will the water stand when brought to rest? So first, no, we have omega 8 rad per second. So we don't know the y and we have the omega, so therefore use the formula. So omega squared x squared over 2g. So y 8 squared 1 squared 2 times 9.21. Therefore, the value for y is 3.26 meters, and y over 2, or 3.26 meters over 2 is 1.63 meter. So therefore, we can do the restriction no, sa rotating vessel. So again, this is the capital H, no height is 4 meters. And this one is deep na 3 meters and D is 1 meter. So, based sa statement, dapat y over 2 is greater than D. Kaya na may spill sa water. When you say spill, so, ning awats na ba? Therefore, we stick with this. Y over 2 is greater than D. So, atong illustration is, let's say, ang ani. And spill. No? So, thinking ang ani lang siya y equals to 3.26, no, pero yung lapas na siya with imagination na lang ang spill sa water. Again, this condition is some liquid spill. To be able to solve the spilled volume, so we need no original volume sa original and ang nabilin. So makuha na din atong spilled. So therefore V original minus V left. No, if nag-rotate siya, for example, washing machine, as in full length, maximum na revolution, and we know na naman tayo original volume, so to be able makuha natong spilled is through volume sa nabilin na tubig. Or to be realistic, if nagkutaw mo og plain or tap water and kusog ang revolution, so di ba na may form hitabo ang ani paraboloid. If kusog jud kayo ang imuhang effort na magpura or no access sa imong angular speed nimo sa pagputaw, so na you spill. Again, ang katong spill makuha siya V original minus V left. Ang V original, as we know, this is cylinder, ang vessel. Given na may dip kani this one, manatong kuhaon una, this is the original, no, para makuha niyo this one man siya. This is water or liquid na V original minus ang V left is makuha natin siya through cylinder as a whole tapos minus ani. So it would be like this. Ana. No? So therefore, let's input the formula. So pi, again r squared, pi r squared is the area. We know the r or the radius is 1 squared times the depth, which is 3 meters, Ang left niya, again, ang left is volume sa cylinder minus volume sa paraboloid. Paraboloid. So, V cylinder, volume sa cylinder is same ra ani, thinking that the cylinder man, so 4 ang gamiton. So, pi 1 squared times 4 minus pi times 1 squared. I mean, there is 3, there is 4. And now, sa paraboloid, ang paraboloid is, ang atong kwan is pi r squared. No? 1 squared times 3.26. This is the y man over 2. Manay kwan sa paraboloid to get the area. One square dari, diba? 1 meter. And the y. So, oh. So, therefore, the answer is 9.425. At to be able to get the answer, so 9.425 minus 7.44. So, the units or the unit is cubic meter. So, our V field is 1.979 cubic meter. So, this is the answer. Now, muni ang ning gawas sa container or spilled. So, there is another solution which is pretty shortened one, pero so another solution ta. Pero I don't want you to do this on the quiz. So, given no na natay y or y is 3.28, and we already solved na katong dili siya most field is y over, diba? I mean y equals to 2. So the only matters is kani muna ang spilled. No, this one. So kani assumption na ang ani ang pagkuha sa this field, but this one is very accurate siya because we base it from dy, no, ang deep sa paraboloid. So this field equals to it would be VBP paraboloid, no, big paraboloid kani, and VSP is small paraboloid. So pi 1 squared times 3.26 over 2 minus pi 1 squared times 2 over 2. So our V field is 1.979 cubic meter. So check. Again, this one is not recommended for you to solve or to use during our quiz and exam. And to be able to solve sa second requirement is the depth of the water stand when brought to rest. So we already have the volume sa spilled. So therefore we can illustrate given that this is the deep, I mean the edge, small edge, 3 meters. And we know na when there is spilled or spilling, subutang na to ang dari. This one. So labeled as it as H sub 1 and this one is D. And of course, na rotations. Again, don't forget the omega, and this is the X. So this field, coming from this this field equals to pi x squared h sub 1. So kani siya, diba? This is the spilled, liquid spilled volume. We need to find some sa h sub 1 so that given man ng small h, and if ato ni h sub 1 i-minus na to sa h, therefore mako na tong d. So we have the v spilled which is 1.979 and pi x is 1 squared and h sub 1. So ato lang siyang i-cross multiply, therefore we have 9.79 pi 1 squared. So h1 equals to 0.63 meter of a meter. Again, h equals to h sub 1 plus d. We have the h which is 3 meters and the h sub 1 is 0.63 of a meter plus d. So pang transfer lang nato, So 3 meters minus 0.63 meter, therefore our d is 2.37 meters. So this is another answer. I mean the other ask, So D. And now let's proceed to D. So sa D, the question is what angular speed? So omega. What angular speed will just zero the depth of water at the center of the vessel? So na siya condition. So ang vortex, again vortex is the kani. And this one as a whole is the paraboloid. So ang vortex is touching sa bottom sa vessel or the container. Thinking na kani na condition, so we need to acquire this one. So y equals to h. Again, this is some liquid spilled. So we can draw the illustration. And there is revolution omega, which is unknown. And this is the center, and this is the paraboloid. Since y equals to h, so some spill, so assume na ano ang pag-spill. So this is y, and this is capital H. Again, there is 3 meters and 1 meter. So y equals to omega squared x squared over 2g. We know our h, I mean y. So this is h equals to omega is unknown, 1 squared x to 9.81, and our h is 4. So cross multiply, so omega squared 4 times 2 times 9.81 over 1. So square both side para makuha nato ang omega lang. Omega. Therefore, the answer is 8.86 rad per second. And times nato sa 30 over pi. Therefore, our omega in RPM is 84.61 RPM. So this is the answer. And our E again, I have to read it again, no? If omega 100 RPM, how much area at the bottom is uncovered? So, ngayon mo naman siya bottom na uncovered. So, this kind of condition. Mugawas na sa bottom ang paraboloid. So, duha na ka paraboloid. I mean, this one and as a whole. No? As a whole paraboloid. Omega equals to 100 RPM. So, let's illustrate the vessel. This is the axis of revolution, no? Omega, which is 100 RPM. Or better, we must convert to rad per second. So, atol ni ibali ang katong 30 over pi. So, dari is pi over 30. So, that para ma-rad sa ibabaw, because pi, na siya rad dari. Ang rad is no need to write it out, no, para makupanin mo. As long as na pi and the degrees, kani degrees. Or not the degrees, I mean the 30. So, the answer is 10.47 rad per second. S or sec. So, again, pi over 3 is for RPM, and you want rad to RPM, so 30 over pi. So, thinking that this is the itong pagbasihan, no, and it creates no hollow assumption lang ni siya, and this is why this one is 4 meters, which is h. As you can notice, this is the x, then naputay ko na rin. So x sub 1, no? From here to here, x sub 1. If na x sub 1, so this one is y sub 1. We need to find first the y. And again, the condition is y is greater than h and some liquid spilled. So y equals to omega squared x squared over 2g. So omega is 10.47 times 1 squared over 2 times 9.81. So our y is 5.59 meter. So to be able to get the y sub 1, namatay 4 dari and the y, so i-minus lang. Y minus h, so 5.59 minus 4, therefore our y sub 1 is 1.59 meter. So para makuha na to ang uncovered area, which is having the area of pi x sub 1 squared, kani uncovered area naman ni. Again, there is two parabola. The first one is as a whole with y ang deep, and the second one is the y sub 1. So using the or by squared property of parabola, so x sub 1 squared over y sub 1 equals to x squared over y, no, this one. So given namang y sub 1 and given na pong x and y, so x sub 1 at pangitaon. X sub 1 squared over y sub 1 is 1.59 equals to x is 1 squared and y is 5.59. So cross multiply, therefore x sub 1 squared equals to 1 times 1.59 over 5.59. So squared both side para x sub 1 ang mabilin, x sub 1 equals to 0.53 meter. Balik ta sa uncovered area. So A sub uncovered equals to pi, ang x sub 1 nato is 0.53 squared. Therefore, the answer is 0.88 square meter. So, mali ang uncovered area, which is this one. No. To be specific, this one. Not the paraboloid, ay this one. Bottom sa bezel. If mag-involve siya volume sa uncovered, so y sub 1. But it is area, so this one only. So I think that's it for the rotating bezel, no? And next topic would be about the liquid surface condition number 2. So goodbye, and hope that you have learned more or many from the lecture.